And now we need to listen about our final topics, and you can ask some question. Now it's most interesting material, and we'll start. In order to come to new production system, we can change at all method of production. And this method of production, which is based on 3D printer, is called additive method. It's a contradiction to subtractive method. Michelangelo, you know, he was artist and he was sculptor. And he answered when he was asked about how to do your sculpture. He said, I take some piece of stone and reduce all surplus things. And our production looks like this method. People take from underground some raw material and back after treatment the waste. How do you think? What is the sheer waste if to take raw material as 100%? What is your idea? How will we return to the land? Or how, what part, what share of this 100% we take usefully? Our German lady, do you have some idea?
I don't get it. Question is a little bit confusing.
Can you please ask the question again?
Yeah.
Okay, we take from underground, from the land, raw material for production, metal, for production, chemical fertilizer, for production, plastic, for production, energy. And after treatment of this material, some part of this material we take in the form of article and or goods, and some part return to nature in much more harmful form. So my question is, please share what part we leave for good goods form, and which part percentage we return to nature now in traditional method.
Yeah, bigger part of them will still return to.
Oh, big part, but what? 60% we take or we return? 95 average, 95. We use only 5%. It's terrible. And this part of which we think that it is surplus material, we return to nature in more harmful form. It is actually it is our poison.
Yeah.
But additive method, so the old, our traditional method, I'm engineer according to my special. In machinery, we take a part of metal, then we cut metal and throw out some part, then we make hole and throw out some part, and so on. So it is subtractive method. We always throw out something. But 3D printer provides us additive method. Do you see as 2D printer make? It's only drop. It's create picture as a piece of paper. Similar acts 3D printer, and not occasionally the material which with which the 3D printer work calls ink, like ink as a paper. In spite of this is cellulose or some plastic, it's called like ink. So what it is not only very efficient method, but it is as well gives opportunity for us to solve a lot of our tasks. It is unlimited design possibility. We make design not in material form, but in our computer. I'm engineer, and I know to make some metallic part, a traditional method, we have to do, for instance, this from metal. First, I have to make it from wooden, put in special, similar to sand, mass, and to form. And then I do this form, and in this form I pour metal. And metal repeat the form of this thing. If I need to change, make some different details to add or to take out, I have to repeat again all this process. Now it's not necessary in 3D printer. I saw a designer in Milan. He works for automobile company. He make to take the screen any form, and he can to turn in any position. So and he can provide endless variability of this material. He can provide any complexity, free, not necessary to do first in wood. Free provision of variability. For instance, simplest article which can good now on 3D printer with only one material. It's principally important, one material. For instance, a cup. I would like cup with picture cherry. You would like with flower. You would like with disease. You would like some apple, pear. So it's necessary only to take to mark in printer for each of us full variability, no one change, no one repeating, and it would be provided free of charge. Minimal waste, because not necessary to do something. Only drop. Almost 100% material ink during 3D printer. Then directed materialization of information, direct. And today we have to do something in computer, but tomorrow, do you remember I told how to deal telephone in my car during the driving? I said only, but it's except only in English. 2, 6, 7, and so on. Now, maybe it's already in Russian or Ukrainian, but I did not mean. But tomorrow I can say, okay, for me, cherry, for Frank, apple, for my charming lady, sunflower, rose or pink, okay, and for everything, by my voice. And tomorrow, day after tomorrow, it's possible. Now there is virtual reality. There is some schlemm which can materialize our dreams, the signal from our brain. So please dream very carefully, because it might be materialized. Okay. Very important things about before we was talking about method of production. Now we would like to tell. I would like to tell about material itself. Material. So we can now material became our product, our design. Before material, in traditional machinery, we produce material before the process of production. Metal, rubber, wooden, plastic, and so on. But now we can produce ink while the process, during the process. If you know, we can only insert parameters of condition. Would be hot condition, would be cold condition. We only insert temperature of exploitation, wetness of exploitation, and computer produce itself necessary material with necessary components. You understand? Then, so material becomes design, becomes construction, and it computer can control properties itself without human. When I was soldier, you know, we have duty, so I was simple soldier at the aircraft, military base. So pilot now trust to equipment more than his own eye and hear. And it was not in our air base, but in neighbor tragedy, that pilot said that glissade, so it's eye which lead his to airport, course lead left and right, but glissade lead higher or low. So he said to operator, dispatcher, it's too low. But all the same, he kept this flying regime because he trust equipment. It was mistake, some problem with the equipment, and they were died, all equipage. But in this case as well, like doctor now trust equipment, sometimes even more than his intuition, computer. So maybe in shop, in factory, engineer would rely some jobs, some works to 3D printer with computer. Okay. I now will higher speed. So 3D printer, you can see already result these shoes produced by 3D printer. But now for me it's very miracle thing that now 3D printer can use not one material but maximum 10. It's today. Tomorrow will be maybe 20 materials. It means that they actually can produce a real goods. 2 years ago, I saw in Odessa, my friend showed me shoes. I thought that this is real shoes, looks like real. But it was some only decoration, because it's printed by 3D printer. At that time, printer could act with only one material. In order to produce real shoes, they have to use a lot of materials, rubber, leather, and so on. So now it is created printer which use 10 materials, but it is not all. It can use scanner. It means that model go on the podium, and only enough to scan scarf or shirt, and at home you will produce any your clothes. I will continue miracle things. Miracle things that price of 3D printer became like refrigerator. Before it costed maybe $10,000, but now American produce about 200. And now I'll be and do you remember I told that it's very important to produce ink which can be accepted by nature. From cellulose, it is ink which can be used. It's disappeared. For instance, we take your student work, and we can program for what time it might be ink in this paper. For 1 day, for 1 month, and then we can use this paper again and again. Ink disappeared. And it's very important, especially for medical system. Now used not 3D printer, 4D printer, fourth dimension. After printing, some goods continue to change their form. And for instance, this self-renewable plastic, you can join instead of bone in medical sphere, instead of join, and it might be like umbrella, put in some organ inside, and then open and close some problem part in our organism. It is plastic for building, for creation, for making artificial bones in our organism. And I'm come to the final stage. Netting, global netting of production. there is now a company which is located on the all part of the planet. For instance, Cisco system, which produce computer, now about 50% of production of computer. It includes 38 companies, but only 2 companies belong to Cisco. So it's virtual enterprise on all the world. Another direction, it's a smart system of control for production, for living of city, and even for whole countries. China already planned to create 500 smart city. It will provide logistics, transport, generation of energy, storage, food, delivery and monitoring of environmental situation, and so on. And most maybe interesting thing. Now now there is production which produce self-produced facility equipment. This facility can plan some production and implement this process of production. But American company came further. It can sell for you some factory. You are a businessman and you want to start production of some goods. American company can sell you factory, and this factory give you opportunity to rebuild some necessary facility. During the process, you understand that you need some additional capacity, and this your factory will self-reproduce this part. And agricultural production became like industrial production. In Sweden, this is greenhouse. 17 floors. On the upper level, it is only plant, tomato or cucumber, and slow speed of downing. And you pick up already ready vegetables in lowest floor. In Milan, it is vertical forest house. This is daytime. Lucky we do not need in Ukraine or in Ghana this vertical. We have still natural nature. And please wait a little bit minutes more. Very interesting. If we have capacity to do something at our home, plates, furniture, clothes, because we have 3D printer, we need only information file. It means we do not need very rich capitalist with his company over the fence, like in SumDU, chemical company, or machinery hour. Maybe similar there is in Nigeria or in Ghana. It means a real social revolution. It is a pure average class which can form horizontal system, horizontal nets. This process, I think, it's already started, because during the August of the last year, $66 billionaires became less. 66. I thought that this is occasionally process because of financial crisis. But in this year already, the number of billionaires reduced by 16% already in 2060s. And they became more poor billionaires. So it means some part of money came to, or come to average class, who can take musical from internet, take literature from internet, take software from internet, and so on. So I told you that it would be a different life. And instead of capitalist and socialist system, we have to weigh new kind of economy, solidary economy. Economy which, what does it mean? 191 millions building in Europe. It means that each people who lives became owner of electric generator. It not take free of charge. It sell this energy. So it means that it will be solidary economy which connect millions producer in one system, and they will take part in decision making. I told you that we save a lot of money. Instead of producing material, raw material, energy, we can produce information in order to development of our spiritual human. And to the final stage. Industry 4. Industry 4, it's fourth industry. Internet of goods, it is communication between body, our medical, our communication with own body, communication of our spiritual, of our personality with our body. For instance, some indicator gives signal, then advance. In 1 year, I would have problem with liver or with stomach or with skin. And I told that smart equipment, smart machine will provide our life in our house. In some concrete time, my car will switch on itself, come to my door, and sometimes I will not even driver as passenger. It will be pilotless. And what means so communication between man social and man body, communication with man and machine, man and use stuff, machine and machine, man with other, man and society. And some what would be this singularity. It will be new essence. And I will successes of now 21st century. Already is created artificial trachea for breathing. For you can use already. Already computer performance exceeded 2 quadrillion operations per second. What does it mean, quadrillion? 1 million billion operation during the second. It's huge speed of artificial mind. It is created artificial cornea and ocular chip were designed. Bacteria with fully synergetic genome was designed and start. It's terrible for me at all. Now we have genome based of carbon foundation. It means it has limitation in temperature and pressure and so on. Artificial on the silicon does not have, it can live this organism, artificial organism, which can reproduce itself, can live under temperature hundreds degrees or below zero. So we are waiting for some new world with combination of the human and computer and machine. But I think that human will become wiser and will make a right decision in order your children and your grandchildren will be happier. Okay, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your listening.